Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the event brought to you by the soft skills stream of the global BA community. My name is Jan Mazurek and I will have the distinct pleasure of actually leading this episode when we will be talking about the power within. This is the topic about the motivation because at the end of every episode that we have the audience to vote for the topic that they would like to see in the next episode. And as you can see, out of the topics with leadership, confidence, self-management, adaptability, and motivation, the motivation was the one that received the highest number of votes. 42% of you voted for the topic of the motivation. Hence, for the topic of motivation, not demotivation. So hence, we have today a great set of experts today. I could talk hours about their achievements and their accomplishments, but I think they will, my words will not do justice to them. So I would like them to introduce themselves. So starting with our experts, Judit, maybe you can introduce yourself to the session.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Judit Harangozo. I am with EPAM for 5.5 years now, and I'm leading the Hungarian L&D team plus some L&D teams in the region. But previously, I was soft skills and leadership trainer for 10 years. I was creating the self-motivation training at EPAM. And also, I'm a keen learner. I'm a certified coach and certified professional in talent development. But the most important is that I love this topic. So, yeah, that's all about me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you here with us. Dmitro, can you also introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. With my pleasure. So, hello, dear colleagues, guys, friends. Yep, I am Dmitry Lazovitsky, Chief Business Analyst, EPAM. I am also with EPAM almost 5 years. Yep, and my passion is to combine different kind of roles in practical work, and based on that input, yeah, make something interesting, something new and useful for all of us. So I am also ambassador of global EPAM BA community and practice, one of ambassadors, yeah. And I like to share my knowledge in LinkedIn space, write some articles, and post some interesting thoughts. Also, I'm a fan of presentations as you can see. Yeah, so I conducted more than one. I conducted a lot of talks for our e-commerce and in different locations, and I hope that our experience and knowledge will help you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, so for those of you who are not following Dmitro on LinkedIn, yeah, please do that because he really posts amazing articles over there and one-pagers that can really help to grow the BA skills altogether.
Thank
And
you.
we also have Mateusz with us.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Mateusz Pusz. I'm doing or hacking C++ for fun and living for more than 20 years right now. I started many years ago and I'm doing this ever since. At EPAM, I'm the chief of the C++ Competency Center. But right now I'm in USA, in St. Louis, on the ICC+ committee meeting. That's why you can see this nice hotel background behind me from the room. Because we are working on C++ 26 and 29 standardization right now, and actually we're going to discuss my proposals in a few hours, so I had a short sleep today. Besides that, I'm a C++ trainer and a conference speaker. I delivered about 100 trainings all over the world, and also I'm attending the biggest C++ conferences where I'm providing talks to engineers from all over the world as well.
Awesome to have you here with us as well. So to our audience, you can see we have a highly motivated experts who are going extra mile far and beyond to praise the IT world, praise EPAM, bring knowledge to everyone around. And as in general, the Let's Ask Expert session is just a free conversation that will be moderated by me. Let's get right into it. Let me stop the screen. Let us have the conversation as friends, colleagues here. And my first question that I have for you, you've all mentioned you have all of those great XML activities, but where did it start? How did it get you motivated so far to actually get to the position where you are? Because Dmitry, for example, you've mentioned you've done lots of talks. I checked on Telescope. In less than 5 years, it's over 130 talks that you've delivered. at EPAM. Mateusz, you did over 100 trainings. Judit, you also did the whole training about self-motivation to share your knowledge and experience, and you became a coach yourself. How did it all start? Where did you find the motivation? So maybe Judit, let's start with you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So my motivation, well, I truly rely on my internal motivation. It's not that somebody came to me with a stick or a carrot that, hey, you should do this. What I truly believe in is developing people, is helping people, supporting them throughout the way. So this is something that is coming from the inside, and I found this area. So then I'm happy to go the extra mile, or it's not even an extra mile for me because I'm super interested. And I would like to help other people to understand, achieve their goals, develop themselves. So for me, I can't explain very much a reason. It's just I know that it's something that's a core value for me, and I'm living this value. I know it sounds fluffy, but this is what's happening. And then next steps comes after another. I just need to plan some stuff, plan some goals, and then, yeah, this is how I went through this.
Mm-hmm. Mitro?
Well, I just can share my secret, I guess, right now. Yeah, and honestly, some time ago, yeah, when I just started my career in IT area, I switched from consulting area to IT area, so I can divide my personal life in two big parts, before IT and in IT. Yeah, world. And I think that at the beginning of my career, when I started from different position, I tried to play different roles. For example, project manager or PO, after that a BA as well. And I found some kind of, I faced, yeah, with the necessity to ask somebody about non-standard piece of advice or something like that, yeah. And step by step, I just covered the knowledge needed. I just tried and conducted different frameworks, techniques, etc. And knowledge, just my personal knowledge, my personal experience, just was growing up step by step. And some of colleagues that I previously faced with or just we were working together, they just mentioned that and came to me and asked me for piece of advice from their side. Yeah. So we changed our roles. And that is a real story how I started to publish materials, to share knowledge, to speak a lot about that, etc.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Mateusz, what about yourself?
Yeah, I agree with everything what was said before, right? Of course. I believe that if someone finds something that turns this person on, like interest, really hard, then there's no problem in finding motivation to do that, right? It's much harder to find motivation for something that someone asks you to do if it doesn't interest you. And probably we're going to talk about this as well later on. But if you find a thing that really turns you on and you are interested in this one, it's really easy to stay there. And for me, it was actually C++ because, well, I don't like when the life is too easy. C++ is really challenging me every single day. I'm doing this 20 years and still I'm not the expert. I don't know as much as I would like, and still learning new things every single day. That's why I studying with this hard language. And also in the meantime, I've discovered that I like sharing my knowledge with others because this is hard. Plenty of people don't know about it. And because of it, I started to provide trainings, provide talks, and also like provide some mentoring to my friends and people nearby. So this is how everything started, and I think this is what is quite easy at this point if you actually are interested in doing this by yourself.
If you are interested. However, life is not always about peaches, right? Sometimes it can become rough and it can be a bit challenging every now and then. And then there is the thing of maintaining that motivation, right? So, what are your secrets when it comes to actually maintaining that motivation at the high levels when you go through those obstacles in life, for example? Maybe Mateusz, maybe let's start out with you.
All right. So yeah, actually, this is something that is current for me because even though I'm like challenges, I like hard things, but it's getting too hard for me as well at some point. For example, right now I'm working for 7 years on standardization the library for physical quantities and units to make words safer. And for 7 years, I'm doing this by myself because nearly no one helps me. Plenty of people come to me, say this is important work, please keep doing that because we will going to be safer with that. And this is amazing work, please do it. But no one cares to actually help me with that that much because they are working on their own things that they want to standardize or provide to the language. And after 7 years of doing that, every single hour of single working day, like doing this in the weekends, in the night, like I was doing this after 1 a.m. yesterday, and right now it's 6 a.m. in the morning. It gets frustrating when you have to do this by yourself. So sometimes you have to take breaks, of course, from that, but also trying to find still good things in the things you are doing and finding the purpose and remembering why you started that actually allows you to continue to keep going through it, right? And of course, if someone can provide you some at least good words about it, or like clap your back saying good work, right? It always helps, right? So being recognized for your work always helps to say to stay motivated for something, right? I don't say that you have to have like better salary at work. Of course, it's helpful, right? But I mean, at least my manager coming to you saying that you're doing a good job, colleague coming to you saying that's good job, it always helps, right? Like you are not alone. People recognize what you do, and that helps.
Or like, for example, when someone comes and says, "Oh, thanks to your training, I was able to understand, solve a complex problem," stuff like that, right? So it's kind of also about that kind of recognition.
So some feedback as well, right, from people, right?
Be the change you want to see in the world, as they say. So what about yourself? How do you maintain your motivation?
Well, I think that I'm also have some pretty same story, but with a little bit another accent. So let me explain. When I'm going to prepare some kind of topic, interesting topic based on practical things, etc. First of all, I'm going to deep dive by myself on the new level of understanding of this or that things, and that inspire me a lot. Yeah. So because you can understand, I totally agree with Mateusz that you have no borders in that process. Every time when you go in to investigate some very popular topic, for example, you always can find some new accents. You always can find some new things that can help people. And that is cool. I think that is the first part of my personal motivation. And the second part, again, agree with Mateusz totally. When you provide some piece of advice to people, when you provide your thoughts, your ideas, etc., and these ideas and these people came back to you during some period of time with just simple thanks, yeah, that is absolutely amazing thing that again inspire you and you going forward.
Mm-hmm. I think in general, I'm super happy that you're mentioning, both of you, about the fact that it's not all about monetary, gratification, but also about just, there are other aspects of motivation as well, right, that can affect that in a positive way. Judit, what are your secrets for high motivation?
I can join to the guys here. First of all, what caught my attention that both of them, they know why they are doing this, even if it's hard, even if sometimes it's overwhelming. I can also go back to my why and understand, okay, The reason why I'm doing is because it gives people something, it gives myself something. So going back, taking a step back, but sometimes it's not enough. So I need to identify what is not working well at the moment, even if I have good intention. Where is it too much, or what is it that I'm not giving to myself? So what helps me, I'm actually going back to basics, like to the lower level of the Maslow pyramid. I'm sleeping well, eating well, exercising well, putting my mind together to get some energy. And also I'm saying no, or creating borders for my self-defense. Then I will get back the energy to go and rock again. Also, what is important, if nobody tells you that you're so good, so if there's no pat on your shoulder, you can also exercise this self-compassion and admit it to yourself that, okay, I'm doing well, I just need some time to rest, and then I'm back on track again. So this is helpful for me.
I think it's also very important to every now and then reward yourself for some good achievement, right? I mean, we still need to be careful with it, because I had that mishap that I was rewarding myself quite often with food, and before I noticed that,
ice cream every day now because it's hot and I'm performing well. So ice cream for me, no good.
No good. Yeah, for me those were kebabs, and like when I saw how much I gained in weight, I decided, okay, enough is enough. I need to find different ways to reward myself, right? But in general, when it comes to actually those maintaining the high motivation, that's one thing. But also when we are kind of experiencing a burnout and that big exhaustion, like any kind of like a challenge you might have, did you face in your life any challenge like that? And how did you manage to recover from that and overcome that challenge when you lost the motivation in the first place?
Who wants to
Maybe
start?
not Mitro. Let's start with you.
Yeah, sure. That is very, very, very simple and at the same time tricky question, because guys, that every professional in his life, in its own life, definitely going to face. I don't think so that only once, maybe couple of times, maybe more, with burnout effect. And I'm personally faced with burnout effect maybe 3 times. It was a real burnout. The first time that when I changed the area, yeah, from consulting, I migrate or shift in IT area. The second time in IT area when I just covered the whole flow from just simple PM to head of PMO. And after that, I feel that I need to have something new. I want to try something new, but I was exhausted, really exhausted. And that was the next time when I faced with burnout. And every time when I faced with burnout effect, I just to try to rethink my life, my way, yeah, in life. And that helped me a lot, because when I going to find, or when I can found some kind of the additional sense why I'm doing this or that, yeah, it helped me to woke up, get up, and go forward. Yeah, step by step. And I think that at the same time, burnout effect just help us to train our will and power of our decisions. Yeah. So that is also important for all of us. And for sure, physical recovering of our body is a part of this process, and we need to recover not only our body in gym or something like that. Yeah, I know that I think that I can predict, yep, that that all guys on this call, yeah, just have some kind of physical training, etc. And the useful of this activity we shouldn't discuss. Yeah, but we need to train and we need to recover our how to say, not brain but soul, feelings, sense, etc. And I'm doing that from time to time, and that helped me because I have a hobby. My hobby, I like to go to forest. I like bushcraft activities. I like to be alone or with my very close friends without clients, activities, people, etc. And that helps a lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mateusz, what about yourself? How do you recover from
Yeah, I'm
challenges?
actually doing that right now. So, so it's current for me. But yes, I totally agree with what was said previously, right? So there are a few reasons for burnout, right? Right is being exhausted, as Dmytro said. Another one is having some constraints that don't allow you to actually do things that you would like to do, but you are constrained by environment, by managers, by project, but by whatever. And this is so frustrated that people also get burnout at some point. So solution probably is to, if possible, get rid of those constraints. This is how I changed the work from Intel to EPAM, for example, because I was so constrained, and at EPAM and Intel, I couldn't develop myself. I couldn't develop other people. I couldn't change the world at Intel, and that's why I switched to EPAM, because at EPAM, if you want, you can do everything. This is what I always say, because no one stands on your way to achieve goals. And we basically prize people that actually are self-motivated to do something, rather than try to cut them on the way to do so. But this is one thing. So if possible, try to remove obstacles from the things that actually are on your way. But second thing is, as already was said, it's really important to basically take care about yourself as well. And not only physically, but also mentally, as it was said, right? And also you have to eat healthy. You have to take care about your dopamine levels and other things as well. So if you are not healthy physically and mentally, it will be really hard to deliver and have actually energy to work on things that actually turns you on, because you will be tired all of the time, and this doesn't help. So first of all, eating healthy. Second of all, having some outdoors activities, because fresh air is really important. And I don't say doing hardcore triathlons as the outdoor activities, but even walks every single day are really important, just to go out.
You were doing triathlons, as far as I remember.
Yeah, I was, as I say, I like challenges, right? But I don't say that everyone has to work out really hard, right? For me, actually, right now I have a hobby. I'm doing extreme sailing, but still sailing. It's everyone I'm next to the water. It always calms me down, and actually I like being on the water. I rest there, and extreme sailing is something that actually turns me on, because when I'm on the boat, I have to think every second to manage this boat so it doesn't throw me out to the water. So I cannot think about work. I cannot think about customers, about project, about family problems. Maybe I just have to keep focused on the thing that I'm doing right now, and this helps me to. And I'm alone on the boat as well, like Metro. So it helps me to actually to stay motivated and rest, at least mentally, because not physically at this point.
And I think you and we have the same kind of approach. That for me, I was always saying EPAM is the land of opportunity. Right? And if you have an idea and it can really help impact others, like for example this initiative, right? That's really no one will stand in your way if you just have the time, the capacity to make the world a better place. So I think that's also a great thing. Judit, what about yourself?
Oh, well, a lot of things has been said before me. When I felt burnout, once I had the opportunity to go on a few gap months. I know not everyone has this luxury, but then I finished my second diploma, so I also planned my time, but I wanted to do something totally different. And then that helped me to come back and helped me to focus my energies again. If it's not a given situation, if I can't do that, I will prioritize tasks at work which give me more pleasure. For example, these occasions. So if I have the chance that I know I love this kind of process at work, this is what I'm going to prioritize for a while. Of course, I need to take care of the other stuff as well, but I can influence on what am I doing, how I'm doing. Also, it's very useful if you have a life outside of work, because a lot of people are workaholic here as well. I know that. And you need to see what is important for you outside of life and prioritize that as well, as the guy said, nature, friends, and so on. For this, I'm going to paste a short exercise to the chat. It's finding your balance, the wheel of life. I'm sure many of you know that, but you can identify what are the areas important for you in life and where are you at this moment and where you want to be ideally. And then it gives you a starting point how to reach there. I just wanted to share. Sorry, I'm a trainer in my heart, so I couldn't miss this opportunity.
Awesome. We definitely will review that and we'll have this opportunity to check that. I wanted also to mention here that when it comes to those outdoor activities, right? It's just and about finding this work-life balance. It doesn't mean that work equals life, right? We are not looking for that kind of balance. There is definitely other stuff that we can do just to make sure that we use our time effectively and efficiently. But there are also sometimes some misconceptions that we can come across when it comes to the world of motivation. I remember some years ago, I was asked by a colleague about, he was exhausted and tired of the evolution of the .NET language. And he constantly, needed to keep up to date and keep training and keep evolving. And he said that he would like to switch to become a business analyst because business analyst, all that we do, we just basically talk and we just have meetings. And he's good in having conversations and he's good in English. So would I be able to mentor him, right? And I think this brings me to the next question, that working in IT, we kind of need to be, I think, one step ahead of the curve, right? And are there some ways that you identify that worked for you when it comes to maybe either some tools or maybe some, some process or some strategies that you apply in your day-to-day life that helps you to put that motivation on track and to maybe even sometimes boost it?
So yeah, when it comes to tools, of course, we have a lot of EPAM tools, a lot of planner tools, Level Up to put your goals, of course, and track it down to small tasks, Microsoft planners, and, Slack, Trello, whatever you want. So the ability to use it in a conscious way, that's another thing. You need to make up your mind, set up your goals, and stick to your plans. So that's one thing. But when you're losing motivation, it's not a tool, but what helps me is motivational videos. And you will laugh, Rocky Balboa. I love that movie, and the music, Eye of the Tiger. So I know it's some kind of a lame thing and simple, but I'm consciously bringing these in. For example, before this occasion, I listened to Eye of the Tiger to get me into the mood, to get some energy, and then I will be able to act. So I know it's not a tool, but I'm listening to these kind of wise thoughts about motivation, and it's helpful for me watching movies and so on.
If I would knew that, I would play, Eye of the Tiger before we began the meeting. So
I actually
also,
look
everyone.
for a YouTube link. I'm going to paste it into the chat because you will be also motivated by that.
Yeah. Dimitri, what about yourself? Any tools that you use or any strategies that you apply when it comes to?
Yeah. I have some interesting exercise before my next every year. Yeah, before my next birthday, I just sum up the whole year. Yeah, that I had. And in my life, I try to build strategic plan where I should be in 3, 5, 7 years. And this helped me to prioritize. It helped me to prioritize all things related to strategic goals, achievement, etc., etc. And based on that priorities, I'm trying to decompose all other activities and balance that in my life. And the second thing that helps me to be focused on and to be relaxed when the critical moment is coming. I mean, first of all, stressful situation or something like that. In stressful situation, especially, I read some interesting book. I can place the name of this book also in the chat. This book is about Japan. practice that names Ichigo Ichie. Yeah. So it means in the translation of this phrase means that this is an art of the current moment. Feel the current moment. Feel this moment, because every moment in our life are beautiful. And I'm trying to do such exercise every time when I feel when I'm feeling hard. Yeah. I mean that I'm under stress or a lot of tasks on the plate that you should do, etc., etc. And it helps. It helps me a lot, because when you just decrease your level of stress in your mind, in your mind, yeah, in your thoughts, you just calm down. You just restructurize yourself, and you're going forward again.
It's
So-
mindfulness, no? So this is a
Yes,
kind
yes,
of
yes, yes.
mindfulness. Just for those of you who want to search for the concept itself, mindfulness is helpful.
And I think this is also very important, what you mentioned about staying calm, because sometimes when we are under this high level of stress and the cortisol levels are quite high,
Yeah.
we might kind of be experiencing this thing that even a small, simple task might seem like an unbelievable burden, right? And that's why, we might procrastinate and just delay us working on certain things. And, sometimes it just might be a few minutes of work for us, but because of the stress and because of constantly pushing this aside, we kind of subconsciously even raise our stress levels because we know that this task is still pending and we
Yeah.
are not picking it up, right?
Yeah, but use the
Mateusz?
stress. The stress. Sorry, I don't want to jump into it, but you need to know that the stress has some positive effects, and it gives you adrenaline. And the problem is when you are going on the other side of the curve. So if you're experiencing and utilizing this stress somehow, it might be even useful. Sorry, giving the word to Mateusz.
No. I mean, this is I completely agree that some people are also motivated by the deadlines, right? And nothing motivates people more than an approaching timeline. But there is this quote I used on one of my presentations in the past, saying that stress kills brain cells, and that's just so stress is not a good idea, right? So definitely something to avoid. But Mateusz, what about your stuff? What about your strategies and your tools that you might be using?
Well, I think that for me, what works is that in the chase to achieve the next goal, and if you're getting frustrated, if you're getting tired, if you have problems in achieving the next goal, it's a good way to actually stop, pause for a moment, and reflect what you already achieved, right? In places when I actually start to think that, oh, I cannot do something, it's so hard and so on, I try to find out where I were like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I was going to my first conference, C++ conference, with a book to get the autograph from the author, right? Right now, I'm in St. Louis, sitting next to this author together, working on the next version of the standard after 10 years. So, and people are coming to me for autographs under some stuff, right? Or dedicate books to me that I was the mentor and motivation for them to write this book. So this gives me the power to move on, right? So not scope and think and just try to blame yourself for not achieving the next goal. Just try to think where you already are right now and what you achieved, how this progressed, that it still progresses all the time. It just maybe a bit slower right now because you are ahead of the curve, as you said. All right. I couldn't go much farther in the future for C++ rather than being able to set up the next standards of the C++. There's nothing else in front of me anymore in these terms. Rather than trying to be more and more active and having more and more influence on this, what happens, there is nothing else in front of me anymore in this case. And it sometimes gets frustrated because you may lose your motivation saying, okay, I'm there already, but it's not the case because it's still moving on.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole evolution also of the IT world and the industry in which we are working, right? That it just goes so fast that we really need to still kind of move forward with it and develop ourselves with it. But I think also what you mentioned kind of reminded me of a story of Amir Khan, who is like a Brad Pitt of Bollywood. And he mentioned that, for one of the movies, he kind of gained weight like 30 kilograms. And then for the next movie, he needed to lose that weight. And he said that, losing that weight for him seems like a impossible task to do, like, climbing Mount Everest. But what he did, instead of, focusing on climbing Mount Everest, he just focused on the path beneath his feet and just, focus not on the end goal, but what I need to do today to get me one step closer to the goal. And before he noticed that, he was actually already halfway through that peak of the mountain. And I remember my teacher in school told me one story that if you already started to do something, you've done 50% of the work, which for me in school was a very lousy advice, because I sit to my homework and I said, okay, I started 50% done, now I can go play computer games, right? So sometimes it's also important to understand those advice in a real way, how this can work. How can we as leaders, as experts, as the company in general, effectively motivate our teams, our colleagues? Any tips that you might give when it comes to the aspect of motivation?
I think that a lot of time. Yeah.
Yes, go on. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think that when you ask this question, I think firstly about some approach. Yeah, simple approach. Act by example. Because we are teaching from each other all the time. We are examples for each other all the time. And when we go into work in hard manner, in intensive manner, in a pretty small group of people, yeah, in our team, or maybe a couple of teams, we need to see around us, or we need to, yeah, we need to have around us some kind of example, somebody that we can watching on, and we can monitoring the activity, the approach of this or that person, and trying to be close, in our behavior to this example, and just inspiring person who can motivate us to do extra steps. And I think that act by example, this is one of approach that we can recommend for our guys, for our colleagues, just to follow it. Yeah.
To find like a role model for you, right?
Yeah.
And just somehow to also be inspiring, but also be inspired by someone.
Yes, absolutely.
Judit, you've also mentioned that you've done the training about the self-motivation as well, right? So that might also.
Yeah. Now I can't remember if I was the one totally putting it together, but for sure we had some materials that EPAM might built on. So yes, this is something I dig myself into it. Going back to the question, I'm using coaching a lot regarding my employees or my team members to understand their need inside. Because if I understand the need, then I will understand their drives as well, and their motivation, their goals. And I realized over the time that people are very different, and I need to understand, if power motivates them, status motivates them, connection to other people, good mood, salary, whatever, then new challenges, then I will be able to customize my approach to my team members. So listening, coaching is very important. Also, I think another important thing is you can't tell a team member who is demotivated to be motivated, because according to Herzberg, there is this two-factor theory about basic hygienes. So if the work conditions are not nice, if the work is not challenging, then you can't expect a person to self-realize and achieve bigger goals. Then we need to go back to understand the demotivational factors, change them, and then build on motivation. So this is what I'm doing, trying to understand the best, the people that I'm working with, and customize the tasks, the solutions. And of course, rewards and recognition, public recognition, creating a good team mood, that's also very important.
But I also think a very important factor would be self-awareness.
Yeah,
right? Because
absolutely.
just not to not to lose yourself in the amount of activities, because I think it was Jacques Elias who told me a very interesting quote saying that the burnout doesn't start with too many tasks. It starts with accepting everything that goes your way.
Absolutely.
And that's,
First phase of burnout, it's typical first phase. Oh, I'm not burnout. I don't feel that. I want to achieve everything. I want to perform the best. I'm saying yes to everything. And then slowly it exhausts you totally. So take care of yourself.
especially when, you know, when the deadlines all accumulate in the same period of time, right? You know, like, for example, end of the quarter, feedback sessions, release dates, you know, training sessions, whatever. It's suddenly like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so challenging.
Then it comes the planning skills and the prioritizing skill. I know it's a high priority, everything, but then you need to go back plan. And the good old Eisenhower, like important and urgent. And there are several tips for this.
Yeah, Terry Pratchett had this quote that personal is not the same as important.
No,
So that's, you know, it's also important to distinguish from this point of view.
Yeah, Terry Pratchett,
Mateusz,
good fun.
what about yourself? What do you think about, you know, when it comes to motivating others and just what we can do to boost that motivation in others?
Yeah, I totally agree with what was said before. Maybe with a few comments to this, right? Of course, being an example for others is really important. And if you are not basically trying to be an example for others, if you expect more from others than from yourself, it's not a good thing, right? You should expect from yourself typically more than from others as well. But I would like to say that it's important to not stay enclosed in this like constraint only to develop yourself, because it may be a choice of being the best leading example. So I have to invest into myself all of the time and not seeing what's around me, right? Because I want to be the best in the team, so others may follow my example. It's not that thing, right? You have to recognize others. You have to be able to see others as well and try to keep them motivated as well, right? Like it was said, we should provide some recognition for them that they're doing a good job. That really helps for them. And also, I really believe that, especially at EPAM, it is possible to remove most of the obstacles on the way for others to achieve their goal. If you will mentor them, coach them, so they can move on, you have to also remove obstacles on the way that so they actually can achieve those goals, right? So, for example, if someone wants to do something or did something good, maybe it's good to find a bit of money to allow this person, for example, to go to a conference to grow, right? Or buy a book for this person, so that he's interested in the subject he's interested in, right? So open some possibilities for that person to do. Maybe provide some few hours a week to work on something on the side that basically will provide really good for him and also for the projects, maybe other projects that he's attending right now, because this keeps the person motivated. This allows the people to grow. Typically stay constrained with what we have to do, like on daily basis, on a like commercial project that may be written in a technology that was 15 years on the market and just the customer stuck at this point. It may be really demotivated for people to stay in such an environment, right? Working on something that was there 20 years ago and you cannot use modern practices because customer does not allow it. If you will provide such a person like 2 hours, 4 hours a week to do something on the side, anyway, person happy because this person does something new, learns a lot, and stays current with technology. And not doing that will make this person burn out really quickly. They will not see sense. They will not be able to learn, develop their skills. They will be actually, by fixing their position, staying at one point, they will actually continue to be behind the others all the time, because in life you have to go on and learn all the time. If you just based on what you learned on the studies and you think you are good, it's not, right? You have to constantly develop your skills.
And I think also it's quite important that when you delegate something to others, that kind of helps them to see what it means to walk in your shoes. And then when you go on vacation, at least you are kind of certain that if people perform well, they will be able, you know, that the project, for example, or the activities that you've been doing are in good hands because people had that opportunity to experience that while you were still there with them to support and to guide them. Right? So that might be also an interesting thing.
Yeah, they say the best supervisor is the one who is not needed, because because the team is self autonomous, able to make decisions, able to operate, not dependent on a on a higher power. Of course, in an ideal world, but yeah, we can work for this.
I think also sometimes the best, the biggest enemy of motivation is procrastination. And I was wondering, have you encountered situations in your life or, while working at EPAM or in previous companies that you were facing this challenge, and how did you manage to overcome the procrastination? Can you share some tips with people who might be struggling with procrastination?
Yeah, right. For example, you will need to see if it's needed at all. So you're procrastinating something, and at the end of the day, it might turn out that you were procrastinating it for so long it might not even be needed. It's a basic. Do I need it or not? Then the second thing that I'm doing, what are my constraints? Like understanding why am I not doing it? What is my own excuse? Then I will be able to identify my own pain point. And I have a really tiny one which is working. It's a 2 minute rule. Put your bum down for 2 minutes and then start doing it. And then your cycle will follow, your mental state will follow most of the times because you will start digging yourself into the task. So, yeah, I can share more as well, but these are working for me.
Mm-hmm. Rita, what about yourself?
Yep, I think that I just remember right now when Judith just speaking about her ways and approaches. I just remember my I think the worst project in my life in IT life. Yeah, when we were working with old-fashioned system. And we need to redesign the flows. We need to redesign all stuff that was needed. But at the same time, this work was so boring for me that I mentioned that period of time that I had the tendency to do that tasks just at the last moment before end date when that task should be done. Yeah. So yeah.
So the deadline as the motivator.
Yes, and that was really not consciousness, but unconsciousness process at all. And after that example in my life, because this project was pretty long, yeah. So I just was working on that project a little bit more than 1 year. I just right now I have an approach that, or I have I have a tenant, yeah, for myself. I need to find the project. This could be difficult project. This could be challengeable project, but this project should be interested. Yeah. So, and that helps a lot, really helps a lot.
But
Honestly.
you never know before you start, right? And some people might also be scared of the change that, okay, here it's uncomfortable, but at least I know, this is the known demon. There is an unknown demon.
But the next tenant, yeah, that tenant that I am aligned with, for me it's equal. So challengeable project, difficult project, it's equal new opportunities, new things, new experience. Yeah. So and this awareness just motivate.
Mm-hmm. Mateusz, what about yourself? How do you overcome procrastination?
Well, I would say that maybe divide and conquer is a good solution here. If something looks like boring, too not interesting, too big, or so ever, try to split it to smaller pieces and try to tackle it one by one, possibly interleaving this with something more interesting in the meantime. So if you will split the task to 10 smaller tasks, then you can do each part at once and then make a break for a while and do something else more interesting and come back to it tomorrow and do again like 2 hours. It helps you to progress, right? Trying to keep this monolith and pushing it in your backlog all the time, then in the end, then the release will come, the deadline will come, as Mitra said, and you will have to deal with this anyway. And you have to deal it at once because the deadline is tomorrow. rather than trying to do it constantly in smaller pieces all the time and having some other joy in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Now, we also have a very interesting question actually in the chat, because Zoltan actually asked, how do you find time for all of these? Meaning that, again, maintaining the work-life balance and, meeting friends and at the same time participating in those XML activities. The day is only 24 hours, right? And how? Mateusz, maybe, let's start with you.
Oh, well, I often get this question from people, but when, right? It is so hard. It is so hard to actually find time for it. But on the other hand, it's also so easy. If you find something that turns you on, then you have no excuse, and no one have to motivate you to actually look for the time about this. I always say that if you are really interested in something, you sometimes woke up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. at the night, and you are afraid to fall asleep because you will not remember the solution you just found during the sleep in the morning. So it sometimes happens to me that actually I woke up at 3 a.m. I have to hack something for an hour just to make sure that I prototype it, and then I say, okay, now I can sleep again, right? Otherwise, I will be just wasting myself until the morning, trying to not fall asleep, thinking about it, and will have like the night off because of it, right? So being in this mood allows you to stay motivated, find time for it, but it has to something that personally interests you. It never happened to me for like a commercial project that I have to do, right? It always happens to me when I'm doing something that I find by myself, that I care about it really, really much, and that interests me. I just woke up in the middle of the night and I know, wow, I just found a solution. It's version 2 of my project. I have to prototype it right now because I will forget about it in the morning.
Nice. Judit, what about yourself?
I agree with what has been said, but what happens if you are not super motivated or not about your passion and you have to schedule something? I'm super conscious in how I handle my calendar. I almost said no to this occasion, but then my passion won. So really blocking my time in the calendar, even small chunks, even sometimes 15 minutes if I want to do something or start something. This is what's helpful for me. And also I'm prioritizing a lot what's important, what happens if I don't do this at all, what happens if I prioritize this. I know it's commonplace what I'm saying, but still I'm very strict to myself on this.
And I think for our audience and information and a bit of background, that I asked you to participate in the topic of assertiveness that we tackled in episode 2, and you just said no so many times that I thought, yes, you are the perfect expert to talk about assertiveness and saying no.
Yeah, that was an assertive no. Right.
But I was lucky enough to have you in today's session. Dmitro, what about yourself?
Oh, guys, friends, I think that I'm thinking right now about only 3 words. The first word is habit, the second word is discipline, and the third word is flow. Yeah.
Very nice.
So, yeah. And I think that taking a part in all needed activities in your life means for you firstly discipline. Yeah. After that, when you provide enough level of discipline in your life, you will train the good habit to cover everything with the help of different things, with prioritizing technique, with ad hoc techniques, etc., etc. But whenever you will do that, you definitely will be in the flow, in your personal flow of comfortable work-life pace. Yes, work-life pace. And in that flow, you will always try to find the optimal balance, not at all, but suitable for this current moment of your life. Yeah. So it's always movement. It's always the wish to keep on track everything that you want, to monitor that you want to participate in, etc., etc.
Yeah. Also, maybe I would like to add one more thing to this subject, right? So because I just thought about it a bit more. There is a saying that basically, if you want to do something right, you should do it by yourself, right? And it's so true if you are an expert. right? That when we are starting to be an expert, we don't want to depend on others on doing something because we believe that we can do this the best. And this is something really, really wrong at some point, right? You cannot do everything by yourself. If you are going to do everything by yourself, you will not have time to actually grow and have time for you and do something else, right? So learn how you can delegate work to others, how you can trust others to do correct work. This is really important to learn delegating things. And also, if there is no, let's say, enough quality in the work that others do, basically start to teach them, invest some time for them to mentor, to coach, for them to grow as well. If you will grow your team, you will not have anything to do by yourself because they will do all the work for you.
There's also this quote that I came across some years ago saying that life is too short to make all of the mistakes by yourself, so you need to learn the mistakes of others, right? And definitely that's also quite useful thing to be able to delegate, to learn to let go some of the things, right? Not to have control over everything. But also, Zoltan, an advice from my side. There is this quote: "If it is important, you will find a way, and if it's not important, you will find an excuse." Right. So it's just also a matter of self-awareness and self-question whether you want to do it, whether you want to invest the time in it. Because from my point of view, saying I don't have time is the biggest lie of the 21st century. We have all the time in the world. It's only a matter how we will use that time. But as we are approaching the end of the time for our today's session, I would like to ask our experts to actually share some last-minute thoughts and last-minute advice for the audience, while I actually, in the meantime, share the link to the Mentimeter in the chat with you, so that you have the opportunity to vote on the topic of the next episode, because we have prepared for you a list of 5 more topics that potentially we can cover, depending on your choosing, because we have creativity, confidence, leadership, self-management, and adaptability. And I'm deliberately saying here self-management because time is a thing that we cannot manage. It's more about managing ourselves in the time. Time will fly either way. So as we wait for the answers from our audience using the Mentimeter, I would kindly like to ask for some closing words from our experts. Judit, starting with you, maybe.
Sure, no problem. Be authentic to yourself. That's the only thing. If you're authentic, then you will know your whys, your desires, your values, and what are the goals you want to put on those. That's all from me.
Thank you so much. Mitro?
I think that I can just provide my thoughts. Please, guys, try to be useful, for other people, and this fact will inspire you, inspiring you so much, and also listen yourself, listen yourself.
I like the song, Listen to Your Heart, right?
Yes, listen to your heart,
Please don't sing it, Jan, okay?
No, I won't. For the sake of our audience, I will restrain myself from that. Mateusz?
Yeah, I would say probably don't get stuck in one place. Try to move on. Try to find at least a bit of time to develop yourself. And you will find out that while doing this, you will be able to find more and more in time to invest into this, because it will let you be a better person. It will make you more happy that you actually invest something into you, not only into others. So find time to basically try to be a better person, version 2 of you.
And seeing the votes, the next topic that we will cover, I don't know whether during the vacation period, but definitely on the next 5th episode of Let's Ask Expert, that will be the topic of creativity. So I do hope that we will see another large amount of participants in the session. Remember that the session will also, as it has been recorded, it will be available for you to watch at the later time. And now there's nothing left for me to say but to roll out the red carpet for all of you, and just to say how amazing it has been to be the host of today's event, and to have you as the experts in today's session. And I do hope that we will have more of those cooperation opportunities in the future as well.
Thank you so much for inviting
Thank
us.
you so much. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Take good care, everyone.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
Right.